This epic disaster starting again. Another week of disaster.
Hello.
This epic disaster.
And what a disaster it is.
Hi, how are you? We are now into the, we're almost done. This year, it seems like it's going slow, but yet really fast. And I knew it was going to happen the holidays. It just seemed like Halloween just happened. We're now
close to Thanksgiving.
Almost Christmas.
I mean,
it's ridiculous.
Okay, hold on. It's the middle of November.
Well, that's...
So take a breath.
Christmas is the middle of December, so it's a month later.
No, it's the end of December.
Well, it's
the third week of December.
Yeah.
Take a breath.
It's going to show up here so fast.
See, I think this is why you get so depressed after the fact, is because your anticipation prior to it is so much that you just like jump into it, and then you're like, wait, it's gone.
No, not really. In fact, the last couple of years, and we were just talking about that with Halloween. It just seemed like Halloween just popped up and disappeared. We didn't really even get a chance to celebrate it. So we are going to work harder for celebration on Christmas. We put our tree up. We already have our tree up.
Mine will go up this weekend. I know I said I was putting it up the day after Halloween, but I have a light situation, so I have to wait till I get paid to buy Christmas lights.
Speaking of light, let's do a beer. This is not a light beer.
It's not a light beer. I'll tell you what the beer is. Oh, you want to tell them why we're drinking a beer?
Well, it's our live beer review. You know, we do a live beer review every show, and what happens is we open up a beer, we drink it on the show. At the end of the show, we'll tell you what we think about it. Last week, number 5, we ranked a number 5. We rarely do that. Almost never do it.
And it's not because we were drunk. It's because it's a damn good beer.
It's good. I'm going to have another one. In fact, you were going to take one and you forgot.
And I forgot because I was drunk.
So it's down there. You got to get it.
I got to get it. But tonight, you just went all over the place. And that didn't come out right.
I don't know what that means.
So tonight we're having a Yazoo beer. I don't think we've ever had a Yazoo beer.
No.
This one is called Pepe Cinnamon.
Look at how dark that is.
It's very dark. It's Pepe Cinnamon Milk Stout. And it is brewed and canned by Yazoo Brewing out of Nashville, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And it is Yazoo Pepe Stout is an ale brewed with a healthy dose of
Starting again.
I can speak. Pepe Cinnamon Milk Stout. Yazoo Pepe Stout is an ale brewed with a healthy dose of oats, lactose, and cinnamon. Mm-hmm. If it conjures up memories of times with loved ones sitting by the fire, you're not alone. Enjoy the season.
So the color and the head on it remind me of Guinness. It's
darker than Guinness.
It's dark, and then the head is really dense and kind of sticks around like that.
And
like
at no
Guinness.
place
Very
on this
looking.
can, because it is a can, at no place on this can does it tell us what the alcohol percentage by volume is.
Okay.
So I'm concerned.
I'm going to tell you. Should I tell you?
No. Let me taste it. It's my turn.
I wasn't going to rate it. I was just going to say that the look and the color and everything is not the only thing that's like Guinness.
Really? Uh-huh. Does it taste very, which is why you're drinking again. You're going to have at it.
It's very similar. Tell me what you think.
I don't smell any cinnamon.
No. In fact, I'm not sure yet that I taste it.
So, and they claim that it's a cinnamon milk stout.
Yeah.
So I don't smell any cinnamon. Mm-mm. It's clearly a stout.
Yeah.
I feel the lactose in my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very Guinnessy.
It's got the mouth feel.
Mm-hmm. I bought this when I was in Chattanooga. I went to Chattanooga. I think I mentioned I'm shutting down my Chattanooga workshop.
Yeah.
After 16 years.
Wow. Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
You haven't been there 16 years?
Yes.
In that shop?
No.
Thank you, because you got that shop while we were together.
What I said was I'm shutting down my Chattanooga shop after 16 years.
Meaning the shop.
In Chattanooga.
No, you're shutting down operations in Chattanooga.
It's the same thing.
After 16 years. This particular shop you've only been in.
The people who are listening don't care or don't know. I'm just saying I'm getting away from Chattanooga.
Okay.
After 16 years.
Just say that then.
I thought I did, but I didn't know that you were going to
didn't.
come in and correct me. No one needs to know all of, they don't need to know where my shops were and when I had them and which years. Chattanooga shop, I'm shutting it down. So, all right. I rented a dumpster and I threw stuff away. I filled that thing to the top.
With what?
Just junk. Wood. It's mostly wood scraps. almost all of it was
An
wood chip.
entire dumpster of wood. People
man.
would have bought that shit.
So
People would have bought that.
sometimes, you see things that just break your heart. So, there's some things in there in my shop that I don't need anymore. It's junk, but I just didn't want to throw them in the pile.
Yeah.
So I had a sewing machine, a Singer sewing machine. I used one time.
I would have taken that from you.
Well, you didn't. I didn't know that. I didn't know you didn't have one, but it was like brand new.
Did you ask?
I can't ask everybody I know if they need a
I'm
sewing
not
machine.
everybody you know.
So I asked my wife. She said no, and I was just like, all right. So I was gonna donate it to some place. So that I had an iron.
So you added to a landfill instead.
I had an iron. So all of the sewing machine I used one time. Mm-hmm. One time. Mm-hmm. It was like brand new.
Disposable sewing machine.
I had a heater, like a really nice little space heater that had a remote control. Just a lot of things like that I didn't want to just throw away, but yet they weren't. I don't know. There were a lot of them had like paint residue on them.
Well, of course, because they've been in your shop.
Yeah. So I had like 5 work tables, shop tables, and I just put them outside. I just lined them up, and I put a sign on it that said "Free. Take anything you want."
Yep.
So that was out there, and after a few minutes, a couple guys from the neighborhood, and it's not an upscale neighborhood. Let me just say that. So these guys came by, and they start looking, and it's free, and they're just like, "Oh, it's like Christmas Day," and then,
right.
So there was an old stereo radio that I've had forever, and it's got.
I know what you're talking about. The big silver one with the big dial on it.
It was a silver. It's black. The silver one just conked out. I tossed it, but this one I bought it at a pawn shop. And it works fine, but it has recently kind of stopped being reliable, but it still works. Mm-hmm. And so I put it out there, and the guy picked it up, and literally it was like Christmas Day for this guy. Aww. He was just like, "I've been wanting one of these stereos for a long time." I wanted to go buy him a brand new, and I just wanted to be like, "Put that, just throw it away,
or at least
I'll go get you a new one,
or at least a year's worth of batteries."
He was very happy to get it though. But yeah, they were getting all my junk, and they were happy to get it.
But see, one man's trash. Is
Look, I love flea markets. I love Goodwill. I like secondhand stuff, and that's the great thing. If someone else needs it, let them have it.
Did someone take the sewing machine?
Oh yeah, it was one of the first things that went. I had a filing cabinet that was out there. Oh, a refrigerator. It was like a little.
Yeah, the little mini fridge.
Yeah, that's gone. So got rid of all that stuff, and then all of the trash stuff I just threw it away, piled up. But I don't know. It's just one of those things.
Thank you for doing the free thing, because that's awesome. That makes me feel better.
Yeah, those guys, they needed it.
Yeah,
and even if they didn't use it, they could sell it and have a little bit of cash. But it's just one of those things where his happiness for getting this junk just kind of it kind of breaks your heart.
Made you warm.
Like,
Made you warm. Yeah.
Yeah, it felt bad.
Oh. Well, so are you out completely yet?
No, we got another weekend of throwing junk away, and then I'm basically out, I think. And then.
And now what?
Well, I look for a location around here, moving to Atlanta.
You have some anxiety going on.
No.
Yeah, you do.
No.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know why you're saying that, but
because you keep changing your position. You go from one elbow to the next, and you're shaking your leg. There's anxiety going on.
That's not anxiety. I do that all the time for anything.
No, you don't.
But moving around, my back is hurting a little bit right now.
Okay.
And part of that was from, I think, moving all that wood. I like how you think you're just so determined that you think you know me so well.
I don't know you that well.
Right, but
no one knows you well.
You tell yourself that you know me, that I'm just like loaded down with anxiety. I'm very relaxed, actually. I have been wanting to get out of up there for so long, and even though it kind of brings up a unpredictable place in my business life. At the same time, it's a huge relief. I feel a giant weight.
So maybe you're not anxious. Maybe you're antsy. You're like, what's next? Let's do what's next.
No, I don't know that I'm either of those. I'm just sort of me.
Okay, you can be you.
I am me. Would you rather be me?
I would rather play Would You Rather.
Would you rather be me? Would you rather be you?
Sing it, honey.
It could be a
Sing it.
musical.
Let's do it. Oh, do I get to wear a hat and sparkly shorts?
For a musical?
Yeah.
Sure.
You
All
know
right.
what this is? You know what this is?
Sammy Davis Jr. tap dancing.
Or Stones in My Hand.
Oh.
For Would You Rather.
It just reminds me of Billy Crystal when he's doing Sammy Davis Jr., which I don't think he does anymore because you're not allowed to do blackface
you're not allowed
anymore.
to.
But he would always put like a lozenge in his mouth
And do.
yeah, like he was tap dancing. All right. I haven't noticed a color dropped yet.
Because I haven't yet.
It's yellow. I told you last week you were going to drop yellow.
Yeah, that was last week.
All right, that's one color we rarely drop on the show is yellow.
It's
random.
Random. So we're not random? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, this is going to be appropriate in a way. Would you rather have a major breakdown of your car
Oh, God.
or your home's plumbing?
Oh, God.
No, you're not in charge really of fixing up your plumbing, so.
I'm not. I rent. So, but at the same time, I don't want to deal with
Nobody wants to do that.
the crap, literally.
Yeah, especially if it like backs up and
So,
goes everywhere.
But then again, my car is my only like lifeline to anything outside of my house.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it weird how that fact that you just said? So we all, if you list, I guess if you made a list of the most important things that you own, house would be at the top, car would be second. But yet we often treat our cars like they're way
Crap!
way
I
down.
drive my cars into the fucking ground. Like I treat
you don't
them
always
like
get
crap.
You don't always get a oil change.
No, I
or
haven't
check
had one
the
in a
tires
year.
Or
I have a flat tire, right? It's almost flat, and I have to drive on the interstate to get home.
and yet if your car is gone, you're
I'm
gonna
screwed.
You are, but as long as you're still driving it, you don't have to check on it.
I'm horrible like that. That is like one of my biggest failings. Is I take horrible, horrible care of cars, as you well know, because I've totaled 2 of yours.
No, I always thought you took good care because when I met you, you bragged how you were a race car driver.
Well,
and
when
so
I had
you
a
had
good car, I
you
took
had
care of it.
what was it, a BMW?
M3.
And so I just thought, well, you knew everything about cars. If you're racing, I don't know anything about cars.
Well, I mean, I changed a few things in it, like the water pump and a couple of struts here and there. But I
seat covers.
No. The interior I left alone because it was Napa leather, Corinthian
Oh,
leather.
Corinthian.
Yes.
Ricardo Montalban.
Which basically means pleather.
Corinthian leather.
No, it was beautiful Corinthian leather.
Which means nothing really.
No,
I think they just made that
leather.
up, didn't they?
It was nice to sit on, unless it was hot.
Do you remember that? Ricardo Montalban doing that?
I remember Ricardo Montalban.
Corinthian leather. I was watching today on YouTube. I'm sorry, I'm saying this right in the middle of Would You Rather, but so I don't know why, but I got in this mood to look up a commercial that I used to see when I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
And I've discovered that I can't remember half the things that happened to me since I've been an adult, but I can remember every freaking commercial, every freaking song when I was a kid. And I think they do that on purpose.
No, it's long-term memory doesn't go away as quickly as short-term does.
I think that's why there's so much advertised on kid shows. But like for a long time, and now I'm going to prove myself wrong because I can't think of. I'm trying to think of it, so I can't. But there was a song that Sprite did for Christmas, and it was Sprite tastes like a limon. And that was the big thing at the time. That was their slogan, the Lyman.
Lyman, yes.
And I could not, and to this day, I can't think of it in my head. But as soon as that Christmas Carol, comes on, well,
that's a normal Christmas Carol.
That's one of my favorite carols.
Yeah.
Hark the Bells or whatever.
Yeah.
I believe that might be it.
That's the tune of the slogan?
It isn't it. I'm sorry.
Okay. Wow. We just
I'm trying
went
to think
down
of it,
a
but
weird rabbit hole,
it's
and now
live,
we're coming
but anyway.
back out.
But it's ruined that song for the rest of my life. I will always sing the Sprite tastes like a limon to that. But I just remember so many commercials, so many, like my friend's dad wrote the Fig Newton song. Julie.
Yep.
Julie's dad wrote the Fig Newton song.
Yep.
I sang that in my head my entire life as a child, all the way up until an adult. And then I found out her dad wrote it.
And you were like, what the F?
Yeah. And then I wanted to meet her dad. But but he wrote other things too. But it's just like that in my head forever.
Yep.
And so I'm at work, I'm painting, and all of a sudden I'm like singing the Fig Newton song.
Do you know what instantly, and this is horrible and wrong, but instantly pops in my head whenever you say a commercial about any lemon lime soda?
Okay.
The first thing that pops into my head is a very happy black man sitting in a chair going,
Yeah.
No caffeine.
What was that guy's name?
I don't know, but
it was really popular for a while.
7-Up.
Yeah.
And it was no caffeine.
Wasn't that guy cool? And he had that great voice.
Such a great voice. Oh my God. Yes. He's like the third
The
Barry
Uncola.
White. The Uncola.
Uncola.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see him. Like I can picture him. in my head.
My ex-wife and I, so we were born the same 62, same time, and she could recall every freaking commercial during that time period. So I thought I was pretty good, but she would always beat me. And so she was like an expert of that. She could sing them, and so we would challenge each other, but she almost always won.
I bet. Mine is the one that you'll never, as soon as you say the first 2 letters of the first word, Armour hot dog, I go into song. I just, hot dog, Armour hot dog. Yep. It's just, I can't.
The song King Wenceslas. That's the Sprite song.
Okay.
Dun 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 dun.
dun, dun.
Yeah, Sprite tastes like a lime. The lemon is the reason. Sprite goes well for holidays. So whatever.
Wow.
I would be able to sing it if I wasn't on a mic right now, and no one wants to hear me sing
No
it.
one wants to hear that shit. Except for one of our listeners who actually hit me up today, or the other day, or some day in between. She said... Okay, I'm going to look it up. I'm going to read it because I can't remember what she said.
Well,
and I have it right in front of me. I got.
So the commercial I looked up today, and this won't mean anything to you. See, that's the thing about the commercial, because you might remember it, but this is way back. This is like...
Before
it
me?
wasn't the set. It did happen in the 70s. In fact, they still had commercials of this in the 80s. But I was remembering it had to be the 60s or the early 70s. You remember Electric Shave? Electric
Shave?
It was a little lotion that you put on your face for if you had an electric shaver, because you can't use shaving cream.
Yeah.
So it's almost like alcohol. So basically what it does is it dissolves the sweat and makes your hair stand up. So when you use electric.
Yeah.
And so I don't really know much about the commercials and don't remember anything except right at the very end, there would be this, it wasn't even a song. It would just go, Electric Shave.
Just that last little
That's all it would do.
Electric Shave.
And it popped into my head today, and I was like, I got to go find that. So I got on YouTube and looked it up. So
No,
look
you
it up.
didn't.
I did.
Oh my God.
And I actually posted on my Facebook. But yeah, if you remember that, go look it up. There's a lot of interesting electric. It's not electric. It's electric shave.
Yeah.
Commercials. So
well, I'll talk about the IM or the text I got later, but because we're in the middle of fucking Would You Rather, and I didn't say Would You Rather what I would rather do.
all right.
What was it again? I don't even remember. Where'd you put
your
it?
Car
What about my car?
or your plumbing?
Which one? Oh no, that's the wrong one.
You just drew from the front. Well, I haven't looked at it.
No, you haven't.
It's in the back.
Okay.
So I'll read it again.
Thank you, because it's been a minute.
Would you rather have a major breakdown of your car or of your home's plumbing?
Home's plumbing, not my responsibility.
Okay. I thought we covered that, but
Okay.
I guess we're not. Oh, I was going to say red. I really felt red. And then just now,
It went blue.
blue just came out and like
Why did I know it was blue? And look,
red and blue.
it's purple.
Make purple. Can always make an excuse.
All right. So it's purple. It's food and ingestion. Would you rather find a tuft of feathers in your half-eaten meal? Feathers? Like a whole thing of feathers?
Like you're supposed to be eating a chicken sandwich and you find feathers.
Ugh.
Okay.
Or unexpectedly... This is stupid.
Find a
I'm
term.
not reading it.
Poop. What is it?
I'm going to get you another one.
No, tell me. What is it?
Unexpectedly get food poisoning.
Oh, yeah, I want that one.
Yeah, that's the one I would choose. Okay, I'm going to go again. Would you rather eat a quarter of a cup of uncooked popcorn?
I had boogers last week. Uncooked popcorn?
So it's just kernels.
Okay.
Or eat a cup of uncooked elbow macaroni.
Macaroni. easily.
Yeah.
I love uncooked macaroni. I used to eat it
you
when I was
really?
a kid. Oh, yeah.
Nuh-uh.
It's very edible. Yeah, I love it. My dogs love it.
You feed your dogs raw pasta all the time.
No, whenever
Not
I'm
raw pasta, but dry
whenever
pasta.
I'm making spaghetti, I always give them one spaghetti noodle. They love it. It's very crunchy.
Toffee won't have that shit. She's
So
like, what
it's-
is this? I don't
It's
need
funny
this.
you mentioned that because I've been trying to make popcorn on the stove and
Yeah.
I've forgotten how or something because all of my stovetop popcorn comes out really crappy.
It's probably the pan you're using.
I thought maybe it was. I've tried them out, just not that. So I just looked it up online to find out what I was doing wrong.
And what did you find?
I think I wasn't using enough oil, and two, I might have been cooking at temperatures too low. So I did make an adjustment, and the popcorn was better. But it wasn't like when I was a kid. We used to make it on the stovetop all the time, and it was so good.
My mother, when I was little, like little, she had one of those things that looks like it's like a big, I don't know what it is. It's big and round and cylindrical, and then it has a lid on it, and then you put butter in the top of it.
It's air pop.
And air pop, yeah. And
I
then
used to
as
have
the
those.
popcorn comes out, it comes out the thing,
Yep.
the spout, and then.
Why don't you hit your mic again?
Sorry,
Everybody loves that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I used to have an air popper. It's supposed to be healthy, but then people pop it that way, and then they pour butter all over
Yeah,
it.
we used to pour butter all over
Sure.
it, and then salt too, just for fun.
I
Then
would-
we use salted butter, and then we put salt on top of that.
I would eat popcorn in almost any situation, but it's like some really bad popcorn, and there was a lot of kernels, so I had to kind of adjust. But going back, so when I was a kid, I don't remember, my brother or something made, like in Bible school or something, made some like a elbow macaroni jewelry
necklace
box or some weird thing,
like
you know.
painted on to something.
Yeah, you just stuck
Pasted
it
on.
Yeah, you would like glue the macaroni, and then they would spray paint it
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah.
I ate that thing.
No,
I-
you did not.
I ate gold macaroni. I admit it. That's probably what's wrong with my brain now. But I would pick a piece of macaroni off and I would eat that stuff, man.
Really?
Yeah.
What's
I
the
didn't cook
weirdest
it.
thing you ate as a kid?
You mean like not like boogers?
Not boogers.
I don't know.
Probably gold painted macaroni.
I don't know.
Weirdest thing I ever ate as a kid was battery acid.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, now
And Clorox.
I used to eat horse feed. Horse feed's actually really good. I
Like
gotta tell you.
the oats?
No, they come in pellets. So if
Yeah.
you have a horse,
Oh.
you know the pellets like.
Yeah, I
in
know
the-
what- yeah.
Okay, so they come, but they're packed, and it's hay and nutritious stuff,
Alfalfa and oats.
and I think there's honey in it, and it's like pressed together in these
Uh-huh.
pellets, and they're actually kind of tasty. It's like something you would get in a vegetarian store.
Yeah, we had 12 horses when I was 10.
But I
get
was
it.
also a salt freak when I was a kid.
Did you
Kinda
ever
still am.
lick the horse's salt licks?
Totally.
Oh my
Totally.
God.
Now, I didn't lick it. So what happens is we had a cow. We didn't have a horse. We had a cow, and the cow would eat the salt lick,
Right.
and then in the end, it would kind of crumble down to just like little tiny. And I would just pick up a piece and eat it.
Uh-huh.
And before you judge me,
I'm not judging.
if you eat cheese that comes out of a cow's boob,
Right.
don't judge me for eating
Something it
salt that a
licked.
cow licked.
That's right.
If you're drinking something or eating something that comes out of it's like come out of a cow's body, you're just as guilty.
And most of the veggies you eat are using
I think the
manure that came out of a cow's
and I
ass.
think the technical in most agricultural is cow boob.
Cow boob.
That's what they call it.
They're cow boobs.
The cow
they have
boobs.
4 of them.
Yeah.
They got 4 boobs.
They have 4 nipulars. Nips.
1 boob, 4 nips.
They're actually called teats. Teats.
Teats.
Did you know that?
I did.
Speaking of teats,
T-E-A-T.
I want to talk about teats.
No, you don't. Do you really? You want to talk about TDs?
I think I do. All right, so
I have TDs.
was I
You have
trying to
TDs,
figure out
too.
if this is when I was going to talk about this. So all right, so
Okay.
we mentioned on a couple of episodes back, maybe 3 episodes back, you gave me a test that I could
Oh,
take.
yeah, because they sent me. Okay, so I had ordered a thyroid test
Mm-hmm.
from Everlywell, which is a great company that sends you at-home tests that you basically use saliva for. You send it back in, they test it, and they send you back the results. and you can use your FSA or HSA card if you have one, and you don't have to go to the doctor or anything like that. But then you can use those results and go talk to your doctor about it after the fact. Unfortunately, rather than sending me a thyroid test, they sent me a testosterone test, which I don't think I really need.
They've listened to the podcast.
Yeah. So I gave it to Rick because they told me I could just do whatever I wanted to with it. So I gave it to you. What happened?
They were like, that guy needs a test. Right?
No.
So I took a testosterone test a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Okay.
I can't remember, but 2 years or less I took a test. Because well, first of all, I'm getting up there in the years.
Pushing 60.
Not there yet. But yeah, I just started, I looked up symptoms of low testosterone. And so I always tired. It feels like for no reason, just seem like I'm always tired.
And hormones will affect you in so many different ways.
Yeah.
So it's always a good thing to look into.
And so I was just like, there's just some things that I just feel like I need to check it. So I checked it, and I just knew it was going to come back, and they were going to say, oh, wow, that's really low. But they were like, your testosterone's fine. And so I was like, oh, okay. So
interesting.
I don't know if I was disappointed, but it was just like, I really kind of expected it.
You would have liked to have had
because
an answer.
Because the way I was feeling, you
Yeah,
just kind of want an excuse for that. So anyway, so I took the test, and I wasn't really expecting the test results.
You even told me that when I gave it to you. You were like, well, I just had a test, and they said it wasn't low.
Yeah. So,
and then you went and took the test.
So I got the results back today. Boom.
Boom.
That are going to read them to you.
Results.
Live here on the air, ladies and gentlemen. This is how secure I am. I'm going to tell you the results of my...
Let's hear it.
Testosterone test.
Now, tell us what this test actually tests for first.
Testosterone.
Well, no, because it tests for free testosterone.
Yeah, this one's free. The other's paid. This one is free.
Free testosterone is different.
Yes.
Just look it up.
This one is free testosterone. I don't know the difference. It does say about free testosterone, which I will tell you here in a minute what it all is. But anyway, so what I found out, which I didn't know, so here's what had to happen. So I opened it up, and there's a little tiny vial that you have to spit in.
Right.
And I will tell you, it took a while to fill that up. I didn't realize I didn't have a lot of spit, but
you don't.
It takes
a minute.
Yeah.
Well, if you've ever done like an ancestry DNA test or anything,
that one wasn't difficult. I don't remember that one taking as long as this one. I didn't have to have enough spit.
Maybe the level was a little higher.
I guess
they just want more of you. They want more of you.
Okay, so what I had to do, I had to spit in a vial, and then I had to pack it up. The weird thing is, I had to overnight. I had to put it in the freezer. So
yeah.
My frozen spit went to the lab, and so I got the results back today. So I'm going to tell you my results.
Please, I'm interested.
Should we talk about the results, or should I tell you? Let me tell you a little bit about free testosterone.
Yeah, because free testosterone is not always what they test you for at the doctor's office. But it can tell you a lot about where you're at.
All right, it says about free testosterone. Testosterone helps regulate bone and muscle fat, fat distribution, libido, and hair growth and loss in both men and women. It is the primary male sex hormone. What you may not know is it plays an important role for both men and women.
Yes.
It's produced in the men's testiculars.
In the testes.
And to a lesser extent in the women's ovaries. It's most commonly associated with effects of sex drive and masculine secondary sexual characteristics like body hair or deeper voice.
Right.
But testosterone is also involved in muscle growth, fat storage, breakdown. An imbalance can disrupt signaling to fat and muscle cells, causing them to grow or shrink abnormally,
right,
which can translate to weight fluctuation. Now, I have talked on this show about how like the last year, I've starved myself, and I just keep gaining weight.
Yep.
To a degree that I've never experienced before.
Right.
And it will not. I cannot make it stop. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to take this test. And then it goes on and talks about all this other stuff.
But let's hear your results.
I'm going to tell you the result. There was another little section I was going to read, but I can't find it, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. All right. Okay. So they send me a little scale here, a little scale low and high. So normal range for testosterone is
For free testosterone.
Free testosterone is between 49 and 185.
So that's quite a huge range.
So, but that gives you an idea of what normal is.
Yeah.
If you go, somebody says you have a 50, then you're in the normal.
Right. Somebody says you have a 180, you're in the normal.
You're in the normal. My level is 31.
So you're low T.
I'm way low.
But no, you're not.
Not
Think about
J-Lo,
it.
way low.
You're 20 something below the level of normal. Whereas you could be 100 something above that and still be within normal.
What do you do if you're high testosterone? You're just like always wanting to have sex or something?
I don't think that's it. I think you're angry a lot.
So this is 31. I mean, really, that's really low. So it says on here, your level, low.
It's not really low, though.
Look at it. Look at that. Low, 49. It's almost right in the middle of those two.
But look.
That's low.
But look at the numbers.
It's 31.
Yeah.
That's freaking low.
Look at that number. What does that number say?
49.
What does that number say?
I know. I'm not in the normal. I'm here. I'm in the
you're
low.
Very outside the normal.
It's
just
low.
Just
It says low.
I get it.
All right. And then it rubs it in by saying, again, your free testosterone is low. Low testosterone in men can have a number of direct and indirect causes. Direct causes include testicular failure.
Do you fail testicularly?
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
I don't know. Can you?
And then they have something, and I'm going to try to pronounce this.
Okay.
Hypogonadotropic, and hypogonadism. That's like
gonads.
Hypogonads. Yeah, both of which involve the inability of the testicles to make testosterone.
But that doesn't have anything to do with like sperm or anything. It just has to do with
testosterone.
The
other possible
hormone.
indirect causes include obesity, type 2 diabetes, chronic medical conditions of the liver, kidneys, excessive alcohol consumption, and overuse of abuse abuse of pain medications, which I don't do that.
No.
Free testosterone levels taper throughout the day, which is why the collection instructions advise you to collect your sample upon waking.
Is that when you did it?
I didn't do that. I think I might have done it at the end of the day.
Well, Rick,
it didn't say that. It did. Honestly, it did not say it.
Did you read the instructions?
Yes. How would I know it didn't say it if I didn't read the instructions?
Because you didn't read them.
I didn't see that. If you collected your sample in the evening, the results are still accurate, but may not reflect your true baseline level. 2% of men have low testosterone and testosterone production, and it goes on. Decreases by 1% each year over 30. And then it goes on and goes on. So, and I don't have all. I was going to print it out, but
what does it say about low T? Like, how does that affect you ultimately at your age?
Well, that's what I'm saying. And so I was also looking at treatments or like supplements.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is what's weird. The symptoms of low T are the exact same symptoms of taking testosterone supplements. Why would you take them? So like one of it is like decreased libido, inability to get a boner. Why would you take it? If you already have that, why take...
What benefits are there from taking the supplements?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to say. Hair loss. Well, hair loss is one of the things for low T as well.
You don't have that problem.
No, I know. I'm trying to think of what some of the others are. Fatigue. Okay, that's the symptom.
A symptom.
But that's what I'm saying. The symptoms for taking a supplement are the exact same symptoms for having low T. I don't understand why somebody would take it.
See, this is where I would go talk to a doctor and find out like, okay, why would I do this if this is already happening? Yep. What benefits are there? Like, does it help with heart health? Does it help with, kidney and liver? Because you did mention kidney, liver, heart stuff.
Well, that could cause the low T reading. Taking supplements, I was reading today, could actually cause heart attacks or lead to heart attacks. So they say be careful. Some people abuse it, especially if you do bodybuilding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But just normal, regular, corrective kind of testosterone test. I don't think there's a big danger in it. But so for me, the exhaustion and the weight gain, those are the two big things that I'm very interested in having corrected.
Yeah.
So I don't have. So I've noticed, especially like within even the past few months, a slight decrease of interest in sex.
Okay.
And that's very misleading, because I'm not disinterested. I'm just lazy.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
No,
it's can we just watch a movie?
I know the feeling.
I don't want to work that hard anymore.
I know the feeling. I do, because you want to have sex and you want to get off, but you don't want to work at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too much trouble. I don't want to breathe that heavy.
No, I get it.
If I did, I would be jogging right now.
Right? Yeah.
So, and that's only happened in the past few.
Which is why I use a vibrator. It's just easier.
I guess. And then erection problems, which
You've never had a problem
for
with
my
erection.
age. I would say I'm normal.
Yeah.
I think every dude has that issue at some point.
Yeah.
And when it happens, it's usually because I'm tired, or I had a big meal or something like that. And I'm not trying to be disgusting and get. This is clinical stuff. We're talking medical.
It's all clinical.
But it isn't. I don't have like a chronic problem with that. But at my age,
some people do, and it's not a bad thing.
No, at my age, and my wife is 10 years younger. If I could get boner pills, whatever. I mean, there's a lot of different kinds.
Lots of different boner
I'm not going to
pills.
name a brand.
Yeah.
I would do it because.
But that'd be bad for your heart.
Not necessarily. Guys do
can
it all the
be.
time.
It can be.
If you have heart problems, yeah.
But you've had heart issues.
I have a little heart flutter, but it's not. Everybody that tests it says it's fine. There's no problems.
Talk to your doctor.
I know.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, I would do that. So the sexual part, in my opinion, at least for me, is not a huge part of this.
Right. This is more about you being healthy.
Now, I did say that at your parts, your man parts, will start decreasing in size.
Have you noticed that?
Yes.
No, you haven't.
No, we talked about that on the show, and I was talking about how you start getting older and you start.
So your erection is smaller than
no,
it was.
the erection is fine. Just the daily peen.
Just relaxed.
By the way, that's my website, dailypeen.com.
Relaxed peen is a bit
smaller. Just your everyday. It's just like, really.
But your erection is the same size.
It's just, and there's no change there.
But when you're just chill, it looks a bit smaller.
If you can see it at all. Yeah, I mean that I think I've noticed in the past 10 years. It's just like, wow, I didn't realize there would be that kind of change.
But let me ask you this: you've also put more weight around your middle since then.
I have told myself that a lot of it is, and I think it's probably a combination of both.
Okay.
So yeah, again, I don't care. I'm not getting naked in front of anybody except my wife, and she's fine.
And that's rare, even
but
then.
I definitely need to lose the weight, but the weight's not coming off. So I think that I'm going to try to see if the low T might be causing the weight gain.
Yep.
So
time for a doctor's appointment.
But I have, to me, I don't understand why this would be a problem for any dude. Now, if I was in my 20s or 30s, I might have a little bit of trouble admitting it, I guess.
That you had low T?
Maybe. I don't know why. It's not something I control, and there's no shame involved.
It's just a medical condition.
Yeah, so go get it fixed.
Yeah.
But at my age, I feel like it's kind of natural.
Yeah.
But I do feel like maybe it's more natural for guys older than me. I feel like I'm too young to be experiencing this. So, but I want to get it corrected.
Yep.
So I'm going to go do it, and then I'll talk about what happens.
Okay. You know what's funny is that I haven't taken either of my tests yet.
Yours were, I can't remember what you had.
I had the food sensitivity test.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't do the big food sensitivity test because it wasn't covered by my FSA card.
So what do you think you have a problem with? Soy?
I know soy. I mean,
that's what they were saying about the testosterone, is that a lot of times when you're so dudes get boobs
right
when they have low T.
It can happen.
I don't have boobs. I mean, not any more than I mean, I don't have unusual man boobs.
I know what you're talking about, man boobs, and it's not called moobs. There's an actual word for it, and I read it today because I knew you wanted to talk about this, and I can't remember what it is. It's like gastronomical something. No, that's inside. No, whatever it is.
Moobs.
It's moobs.
So I don't really have pronounced moobs yet.
No, you don't.
But
and I don't expect that you will, because you've always had a.
But here's what I learned was what happens is, so everybody has testosterone and estrogen in their body.
Yes.
Dudes have more testosterone and women have more estrogen, but
Right.
we both have both.
Right.
When your testosterone starts dropping, the estrogen becomes more prominent.
Yes.
So, and in the other way with females, while when women get older, they start getting little mustaches and beards.
Right.
And other things. But like, so the estrogen, and what does soy do? It produces estrogen. As a vegetarian, I'm
eat
probably,
a lot of soy.
Right. And I probably have a lot more estrogen in my body.
You might want to cut out some of those fake meats that use soy, because now I've recently just been using the corn products because those are no soy.
No, those are fungi.
It's micro.
They're very fungi.
Yeah, it's fungus. But the like the Morning Star and the Worthington products.
Yeah,
those are mostly soy. And then of course everything else you buy in the fucking grocery store that's processed.
Oh yeah, soy's in
has
it.
soy in it.
Yeah, well, it's just like corn.
Everything has soy in it.
So anyway, I feel like that might be a little bit of an issue. So I need to get that balanced out. So that's what I'm going to do.
You might want to go to more of a raw diet.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that, but it doesn't help. Here's the problem with raw diets with me is I don't like sweet foods, and all the freaking foods, when you're eating them raw, they're all sweet. If it's fruits, they're way sweet. If they're vegetables, they're sweet. Nothing becomes not sweet to me. Even if I'm eating tomatoes, the sweetness increases when I'm eating raw foods, and I need that kind of just savory.
I understand that.
Yeah,
I do. I get it. But you gotta find something that's not sweet. There has to be something else. But you're right. Fruits and vegetables both are sweet.
Well, and
all
that's the thing. It's a
sweet.
natural sweetness that they're supposed to have. And if you're not eating Halloween candy every day of your life,
they're not that sweet.
They're not that sweet. It eventually balances out. But that sweetness happens, especially when you're trying to get things balanced from
Maybe
your
if you
natural
just pour
sugar.
a bunch of salt on them.
Well, I've done that.
And then we can worry about our hearts.
But if you remember, was it last year that I did the potato diet,
Yeah.
which really worked?
Yeah.
And I should have done it for long term, but I didn't. But even then, the potatoes after a while start kind of tasting a little sweet.
Yep. Excuse
so I
me,
do have to put
right
soy, either soy sauce or he's making you hungry.
I just belched
you're like,
right
oh,
into the
man.
mic. I'm like, bleh.
So anyway, so that's the thing. I'm low T.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's not terribly
I'm a
low.
mangina. I'm what?
Didn't you tell me you had to buy tampons yesterday?
Yeah, that's how far I've gotten. No, I just but that's cool. I don't know. And I say this to my wife all the time. I'm like, do you ever think about every single time we have sex, every time, one time that will be the last time, and we probably won't know it unless she's doing it to me while I'm dead. But we probably she will.
Why
too.
would she do that?
She totally will.
She's okay. Well, let me think about it for a minute.
So, but I always think about that. I'm just like, at some point, a sex time will be the last time you ever do it.
Yep.
And you don't know when it'll be.
And for all I know, I've had sex with a man for the last time in my life. I could die on my way.
Thank you.
I could die on my
Wait
way
a
home
minute.
tonight.
No, but
And the last time I had sex was.
Well, I mean, that's true.
Let me count
it
the
could
years.
It could be the last time you ever have sex. Probably not, but it could. But I just think in a relationship and you get married and that's what you think. This is my person. This is what, we're going to wake up tomorrow and kiss and maybe we'll have sex another time or this week or next week or whatever. We schedule it out. We have a clock. A calendar.
No, you don't. You can't even.
She does it. I just
depend on the calendar to who cleans out the fucking cat litter box.
We actually do them at the same time, sex and cleaning out cat litter. It's a thing. But no, I just think about that. I just like there will be a time, and I'm hoping it's when we're 105.
Maybe.
I just can't lift it up anymore.
Here, honey, hold this.
I think the ice cream stitch broke.
While you're
Again.
holding it, would you please
Damn
touch
it.
it?
Or just fall asleep right in the middle. I think something's happening.
It feels tingly.
That's sad because that happens now. That was last week. But I think about that. I just think you never know. You're not it. You don't know.
You don't
I'm
know.
going to say, man, I shouldn't say this.
Say it.
I shouldn't say it.
People
So,
want
like,
to hear.
Last time I had sex might have been the best time ever.
Nuh-uh.
Ever. And after it was done, I actually said, I'm never doing it again. I'm stopping here. Because why would you want to? You can't go better. It's the best. Never going to get any better than that.
Do you know what's so funny?
Let's stop.
Oh my God.
Plus, I need to take a nap.
It's so funny. The last time I masturbated
It was the best time ever.
was the best orgasm I've ever had in my entire fucking life. Like with anybody at any time
It happens.
ever.
It happens.
And I was like, why haven't I been doing it this way the entire time?
Is that why we had to clean out the studio?
Shut up.
Dang.
I'm not sleeping in a cot in the studio yet.
All right. Anyway, that's my low T story.
Wow. Well, keep us
I think
informed.
I've let people know
Keep
too
us
much about me.
informed. No, I don't think so. I will tell you. And on that note, I want to
the
go
note.
back to the comments I got on our last show.
Oh, I never get comments. I don't get
That's
comments.
because people don't like you.
That's not even fair.
I know it's not fair or fair.
No
So-
one posts that.
Yeah. Where was I? Sorry, I'm looking through. I see a picture.
So
of
you
a
did this last time.
chicken.
You were like, I'm going to read, and then you're like, oh, I don't have it, and then we did something else, and now you're doing the same thing.
Hold on. Okay. One. Nope. That was from last week.
You know, at one point we'll do the podcast, and it'll be the last time we do the podcast. We may not even
Yep.
know it.
And
We may not even know it.
One of us might die. But
Well,
you would
just
do the
maybe not-
podcast
it-
again.
You
even
always
without
go
me,
straight to
right?
death. It may not die. We may just not decide. We may decide not to do it. Maybe we can't talk anymore. Maybe the equipment breaks. I'm just saying, at some point, it'll be the last time. It'll be the last. It's like taking my shop, my Chattanooga shop.
Yep.
When I moved there, it was. I mean, I'm going to be here for the rest of my life. It's going to be. And now,
It's
like
the last time.
when we did the podcast about values change. It's like things.
You're never going to
change
do a job
both.
there again.
Nope.
Nope. It's
And
done.
I'm fine with it.
And that's okay.
But I'm not. I wouldn't be fine right now if I never had sex again. But it will happen one day.
I think I'm resigned to never having sex again, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, so we got
I think
to...
you're just soliciting to our listeners.
Shut up.
Can we do a drawing?
No.
The winner.
No.
Sex with Jerry
Shut
on the
up.
podcast.
No. God, no. There's like sounds.
You got a lot to work for because that last session
don't
she
wanna-
with herself.
you
You
don't
got to
wanna
beat
hear.
that. You gotta-
Oh, no one will ever
You
beat
gotta,
that.
you gotta beat that.
Nope.
While she's beating it.
No. Anyways,
Go for
one
it.
of our listeners said that it always bums me out when almost every episode Rick starts to talk about something fun and then says, "Oh, that's too personal," and they don't want to hear that. And they yell at us while they're listening. They say,
Yeah, I
"Yes,
know.
we
I
do
know. Listen.
want to hear that."
Well, I don't have a filter, so a lot of things like today, I talk about things I probably shouldn't talk about. So I just don't have this filter. But sometimes there is a filter that says no.
Because you start telling a story
not
and then you're
talk
like,
about that.
Because here's what it is. Those of you listening, here's what happens is Rick will start telling a story and then he'll think, oh my God, I'm about to expose another human being in this story.
I'll tell you.
This is why I can't say this.
I'll tell you one of those stories in just a minute.
Okay. You can tell us now.
I'll get in trouble, but I'll tell it.
Tell it. I want to hear it.
No, you're doing this. You're
No,
doing your
that's
thing.
that's all I had to say. From
You said
her.
you said you had stories. You had letters.
Okay.
Comments.
Okay. We also got a comment from our last show. I got two comments from our last show, and that's it.
Okay, that was the drinking.
The drinking show, yes. One of those comments were she's quoting us here.
Okay.
She says, "You were watching a lot of Doctor Who, and I was in the next bathroom, and I was in the next room masturbating a lot."
Yes.
And she laughed so hard at that. And she
It wasn't
said
funny at the
But she
time.
said it was in your delivery. It was all about the delivery.
It's just covering so much pain.
It is. You have good timing when you're covering pain, apparently. Good comedic timing. I like that. But I agree because I listened to the episode because of
enjoyed
that.
it. Yeah, it was funny.
And it was funny. We did good.
It was good.
Okay.
It was a good episode.
And then
We get one every once in a
and
while.
then she sent me a picture of her pet.
Oh, that's nice.
Chicken. Okay. So also I got a comment from another listener.
Why are you getting all the comments?
Because they love me. They love me. I don't know what to tell you. They love me. This comment came from one of our listeners who won a prize that I haven't sent him yet, and I don't think he's terribly upset about
Oh,
it.
yeah, I remember that.
Rick should just embrace taking a shower with another dude.
No!
That's what he said.
Never happening. Not going to happen.
You should just embrace it.
Not
Just
gonna
do
happen.
it.
Not going to happen.
Just do it.
All right, so we're running out of time, but I'm going to tell you this.
So I don't get to talk about the thing I wanted to talk about?
You can right now. I've been trying to get you to do it, and then
No,
you go straight to your
keep talking
phone.
about your testosterone.
We were talking. That was something we were talking about, but I keep going to you and you reading on your phone. So what do you want to do? Go for it.
Okay, let's get serious.
All right, so we're at an hour.
We're at an hour?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We were going to do a short show, remember? Do you want to save it for next week?
Let's save it.
That's a long one, though. It's a good one.
It's a good
So
idea.
we will do the entire episode about that next week.
Okay,
That's a good
so what we're going to talk about next week, so that you'll come back, is because you might not after this one, is it's more about love and affection.
But not not like romantic, but just generally about being loved.
Mine is more romantic.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I want to talk about.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about that.
Well, let's write it down. And then we should record another show this week.
We should. And so we'll be ahead of the game.
All right. So I just want to tell you because we need
How
to close
are we
down.
at an hour?
We talked a lot. I just want to say this really quick.
What?
And then we need to shut it down.
Okay,
So
what?
I want to ask you if this is weird.
What?
I want to ask you if this is weird.
That you
I'm
have
gonna
low T? Is that weird?
I'm going to be talking
No.
about my wife. And I didn't tell her. And so I hope she doesn't listen to this podcast.
She doesn't listen to the podcast.
She normally doesn't, but she probably would. So, okay. The other night, they finally called the election,
Yeah.
So they finally called the election after we sat and waited forever. And
4 or
several
5 days.
So they called it.
Yep.
So she went out and bought some champagne.
Good for her.
So she was like, we're going to drink some champagne tonight. And I was like,
Whoop,
okay.
whoop.
So she brings the champagne back.
Uh-huh.
And this is normal for us. We don't drink the champagne. We have like
You have
3
four
or 4 bottles of
champagne.
champagne that we've had since we were married, since like New Year's Eve. And we buy champagne and then we never drink
Never
it. And
pop
then
it.
it just saves.
I'm the person that pops the champagne in this house.
I'm just saying that's what happened. So, so the next night we decide we're going to put up the Christmas tree.
Right.
And so she says to me, let's put up the tree and we can open up the champagne. I was like, oh, cool. All
That'd
right.
be nice,
That-
yeah.
Like a little party, little
Yeah,
celebration. We can kind of usher in the New Year's. So I'm putting up the tree. I'm in the living room putting up the tree. I'm doing it by myself, by the way. So I'm putting up the tree and I got it all put up and it's looking good.
And you're like, where's
And
the
I-
champagne?
Well, no. I say, are you ready for the lighting? And she's like, yeah. And I said, all right, here, we're going to do this year's lighting. Here we go. And
Would it
I
be
push
great
the
to
button.
have a glass of champagne?
Push the button. Bing. The lights come on. Beautiful.
Yep.
So I'm like, awesome. So I go in the kitchen. She's on her laptop drinking champagne.
Without you.
That's what I said.
That's fucked up.
And she was like, what? And I was like, didn't you say we were going to open up the She said, yeah, I did open the champagne.
Alone.
Well, she was like, no, you were in there. You could come in and drink some. I was like, I didn't know you had opened it. I thought when you said we were going to open the champagne, I thought we were going to do this together.
That's kind
Well,
of
she
rude.
thought I was making such a big deal about nothing. And I mean, I'm not mad, but it was disappointing and kind of irritating. And so, and then she thought that I was making a big deal about something. And I was just like, no, I just think when you say we're going to open the champagne, 2 people stand there, pop the champagne, and you drink it.
Right. That's how it works.
That's how it's supposed to work.
That's how it works.
Every champagne.
Nobody opens champagne by themselves unless they're alone. When you're with somebody else in the room, whether it be your friend, coworker, partner, whatever, if you're popping champagne, everybody has to be there. Pop that champagne and come and have some. And that's the whole point of champagne. It's a celebratory drink.
That's what I told her, and she just said, "No, I just thought, we were just going to have it tonight." And I was like, "Well, then
that would just be like a bottle of wine or
Yeah.
gin or beer or
where's
whatever.
the celebration for
That's
that?
not celebratory.
The whole thing about having champagne is popping it together and toasting and cheering and all that."
Yeah, the whole spiel. I'm sorry that you went through that.
So-
That was hurtful, and I apologize.
So anyway, that happened. I thought.
I tell you what.
I was like, am I out of line thinking?
No.
Because that didn't seem right.
So Thanksgiving, when I bring over my deviled eggs, I will give the deviled eggs to Maria, and I will come over and open champagne with you. How does that sound?
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
We might open champagne.
I'm bringing champagne, so we're opening
They're trying
champagne.
to tell everybody not to do Thanksgiving this year.
It's just me,
Well, you, mother-in-law,
Grandma.
and I think some friends.
I call her Grandma.
I think friends are coming, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, friends too?
Yeah, I think. I mean, the same people who always show up.
That's not a lot.
No.
It's less than 10.
But anyway, so my wife got married. I'm her first marriage.
You're her first husband, yes, that we know of.
Yeah, so far.
Not
And
the last.
so she lived 40-something years. I mean, she dated. And
Well, yeah,
I think she
and
might
she
have,
had long-term relationships.
yeah, she might have sort of lived with somebody. But I mean,
She
she
was
wasn't
never
married.
actually married.
So she's very independent. So a lot of times she has this kind of attitude of being alone, like she's still alone.
Yeah, it's a comfort level thing.
And I have to frequently remind her, we are married now. We celebrate 5 years of marriage this month.
That's right, the 30th of this
But
month.
she forgets sometimes. Now, I mean, I
can't
understand
yeah.
that, but still, after 5 years, you would think she would remember that she's married and that she should pop the cork with her husband.
I have a question to ask you, and I'm going to ask it here.
Okay.
Do you think that she sees you as her equal?
I don't think she sees anybody as her equal.
Okay, you got a point. You got a point.
There's a lot of stuff that when I was younger I would let bother me, and I don't.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't care. I think ultimately we see each other as equals, but I don't think we concentrate on that. It's not a
And
relationship.
I don't mean equal in any specific manner. I just mean, like, in the way that you said, like, she sometimes still feels she's very independent.
Yeah.
Let's just throw it. She's very
And
independent.
there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
I mean,
there
I
isn't.
like,
but
that's
she,
fine.
but you're also very independent
Yeah.
in your own way.
Right.
So where is the coming together
No, I think we
other than the bed?
we relate, we get along, we like each other, we're great roommates, we're great friends, we're great partners. I mean, I think we're fine. But I just think that so like if she had a friend that said drop by my house after work and have a margarita, I think she would be more likely to just go do that and drink and have margarita and then come home at 9-10 o'clock,
Right.
and not tell me. So if I did it, I would call and say, hey, somebody invited me. And I'm not saying she would never do that. I'm just saying she would be more likely to not.
Yeah.
I feel like she wouldn't think, oh, I need to be responsible
Check
to
in.
him
Yeah.
and tell him I can do what I want where I'm a grown up.
Right.
So I just don't think her first instinct is to think about that, And it's
Yeah.
not, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, good thing. It's just a thing. And so, but if you're not careful, you make the other person feel like they're not a part of it, of something.
Or not
Like,
important enough to be
Pop a
in
cork.
the know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
You
let's
know.
pop a cork together.
You never see a Hallmark Christmas movie
No.
where at the end only one person is popping the cork.
No.
They're always doing it together.
Yep.
And that's kind of the way the celebration should be. But maybe it's something she just has to learn.
You don't want to be in love. You want to be in love in a movie.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of movies, let's say goodbye.
Okay.
We need to talk about this beer. We need to talk about our show. Thanks for everybody for hanging out with us and listening to our nonsense, and especially last week.
Horrible,
that was a
awful
crazy show
nonsense.
last week.
But I loved it.
It was funny.
Great.
It was a funny show and a good show and insightful. There was a lot of things that we talked about ourselves. Revealed a lot of private things.
We revealed things you didn't see because you weren't watching.
But thanks for listening to us. We enjoy that. We during this time when nobody's communicating with anybody, we don't know who's listening out there. So if you are listening and you like what you hear, just drop a line and say, hey, thanks for listening or whatever.
And again, if you're more comfortable texting me, that's fine too, because obviously I tell Rick, and if you text Rick, he tells me it's fine. Whatever way you want to talk to us and communicate with us, please keep doing so because it means a lot.
ThisEpicDisaster@gmail.com is where you can send us email. We're also on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We sometimes hit Twitter, but rarely. And our shows are can be downloaded, should be downloaded. You should subscribe to our shows on wherever you download podcasts. Apple, Google, what else?
Stitcher,
iHeartRadio.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that good stuff. You can download us from there. And wherever you download us, just stop by and leave a little description. Say, this is a great podcast, or it sucks. Whatever. I don't know, whatever
or
you think.
Or just say it's good, stupid fun.
And leave some stars because that's how we get ranked. And we've been doing this. We just started our 4th year, and we've never been listed in Apple stuff. We need to be listed on, they need to put us in featured podcasts.
You and I have never done anything longer than 4 years.
Nope. I don't know why we should start now. But anyway, do that and just be a part of the family. Yeah. We're hoping next year when everybody's allowed to come out of their house that we can do some in-person events. But we'll see. But we're here in the meantime.
Come listen to us.
And just hang out with us. All right, so let's talk about this beer that we are drinking. What is it again?
Hell, I don't know. It's I got to put my glasses on because I've been in the last 6 months.
Aging.
I have become so dependent on my glasses. Mm-hmm. I can't even read the instructions on anything without glasses, and it's just in the last 6 months.
Mm-hmm. It's all that testosterone.
That's it.
I think there's been a testosterone transference. I believe you've gotten all of mine.
I took all yours
as we've been talking.
I think it's happened. Okay, so this is by Yazoo. It's called Pepe Cinnamon Milk Stout, brewed and canned by Yazoo Brewing out of Nashville, Tennessee. It does not say anywhere on the can what the alcohol content by volume is, which kind of upsets me because I think that should be clearly marked. Anyways, that's all that I gotta say is a cinnamon milk stout. Now, it does say that it has lactose, cinnamon, and that's about oats, lactose, and cinnamon. So, I don't really get any of that. I get coffee.
Okay.
And to be honest, I'm just gonna kind of give it a 2.
2.
Yeah.
All right. It's my kind of beer. I like it. It reminds me so much of Guinness. It's really like drinking a Guinness.
But it's not.
It is.
Got this weird, I don't know.
I feel like it's so much like Guinness. I'm giving it a 4.5.
Are you joking?
No, I felt like, I felt bad because I was like, can we have 2 really good beers in a row? This is the kind of beer I like. It's the only thing, it tastes a lot like a Guinness, and the mouthfeel is not quite as thick and creamy as a Guinness, but it's still there.
They say there's lactose. I don't feel it. I don't get it.
I get that. I get everything except the cinnamon. I don't even know why they put that there. I can't even get a little bit of cinnamon, but I do get Guinness. And if you like Guinness, it's just Guinness.
Okay, so here's my
but it's good. I
judgment is you and I, we meet in the middle sometimes, but then if it goes this way, it's you. If it goes this way, it's me. It's like we can meet this super, super middle section when it comes to taste and beer. But if it's dark and stout and porter, that's all you.
Yeah.
If it's sour and pilsner and light, that's all me.
Mostly.
I think that's funny.
Well, this is just my kind of beer. I really like it. It's anything that tastes like Guinness, and I enjoy Guinness. And so, if you had a blindfold on me for whatever reason, and you poured this out and said, "What is this?" I would probably say it was a Guinness.
Yeah.
It's got,
really?
and if you like Guinness, so you'd like it. But I would say,
It has a cute picture of it, like a Monet style puppy dog on it.
Yeah. It ultimately it's just like, get a Guinness.
It's a beer. Yeah.
It's still good though.
Okay.
So I like it.
Good.
All right. Is that
All
it?
right.
We done?
So be prepared because next week
is all about love.
Coming with love.
And
emotion.
It's right before Thanksgiving too. Be thankful for love.
I got stuff to talk about.
Okay.
It's deep.
We'll grab.
It's dark.
We'll get some turkey.
It's
and
wet. No, I mean
tofu.
yeah. Anyways.
Conversation. All right. Let's say goodbye.
Okay. Bye.
See y'all. Bye.
This is a Violet Jester Media podcast.